many years have you lived? And no, I'm not referring to your literal age or the number of years that you've been alive, but rather, how many times have you showed up as the most authentic version of yourself? How many moments do you remember feeling like you were living life to the fullest? How many times do you remember having that feeling of freedom that's so strong, like you could do anything in this world? Most of us have constantly been tiptoeing through life, each step taken with the fear of setting our relationships and self-image on fire. It's like being a chameleon, constantly changing your colors to fit in with your surroundings. You shift your shape, you shift your values to fit in with the expectations of others. It's like playing a game of Simon Says, except it's never ending and the rules are constantly changing. You twist and contour into knots, trying to please the people around you, even if it means losing sight of who you truly are. In the end, people-pleasing feels like being trapped in a cage, yearning to spread your wings and fly, but being too afraid to break through the bars that confine you. It's a suffocating existence, one that stifles your spirit and dims your inner light, leaving you longing to be unapologetically yourself. I've always thought that I was living my most authentic life. I mean, I'm doing all of the things I love and I'm minding my own business. What could possibly be wrong? Except the fear of other people's opinions is kind of sneaky. It's like a silent thief, stealthily robbing you out of the freedom to shine brightly. You'd think, of course I don't care what people think. Of course it doesn't matter to me. Why would it? Until it's time to do the things you've always wanted to do. The things that actually matter. The things that scare you. I'll tell you a little story. It's 2019, and I just moved to a completely new school, new people, new faces, and I decide I want to apply for the head girl position. It's something I've always wanted to do. I don't know anyone, but that shouldn't be a problem, right? Everyone campaigns differently. Some people make PowerPoints, most people write letters, but I decide I want to do something different. Something no one has ever seen before. So let me create a video. And not just any video, but a skit. A skit of me playing different characters as different parts of my personality and changing my outfits and just roasting myself half of the video, just to keep it lighthearted. Literally a 2015 comedy YouTube video. And it's exciting, and it's new, but also scary, because no one has done that before. I go to my classmates and I ask them, what do you think of this? And I get a lot of mixed opinions. Some saying, it's good, go ahead, it's really creative. But some saying, it might not work out. It's too different. I'm unsure. And for once, I was letting people's opinions and thoughts influence my decision-making process. Luckily, I still went through with it. And fast forward a few weeks later, yours truly becomes the head girl of a completely new school where I did not know anyone. This is just a simple example of what you can do when you stop letting people influence your decision-making. Over the years, I've done a lot of cool things just based off of this concept. I started my own business. I started posting content online, which scared me for a while. And I published my first book, which talks about this very topic. We all have something we want to do more than anything. It can be as big as being the greatest of all time, or as small as just pursuing a creative passion. It doesn't really matter. The point is, the fear of people's judgment is enough to kill any potential that you might have. But we can't always blame ourselves, because the fear of judgment can stem from childhood. From the moment we start taking our first steps, we're bombarded with messages about what it means to be good and what it means to be bad. We feel good when people praise us, and we don't feel so good when we get scolded at. When you get a little star after doing well on a test, it makes you feel happy. When someone doesn't acknowledge something you did that you worked hard for, you feel disappointed. And it's not just a phase. If anything, with age, it gets worse. When you turn into an adult, no one tells you, hey, you're 18 now, you can go experiment. You don't have to wait for people to tell you you're doing something right. No, it keeps going and it gets worse. And we know this, yet we keep playing into this vicious cycle. Sometimes you've got to make a decision. You chase these unrealistic expectations, or you become the most authentic version of yourself. You disappoint them, or you disappoint your potential. And sometimes, people's opinions might be there to help us. You might think, people are looking out for me. But this is what people's opinions are made of. Their own beliefs, experiences, fears, limitations. Think of this as an equation. I want you to solve it. Find the variable u, and I'll give you a moment. It's not there. So what's the point? What's the point of being so concerned with other people's opinions if the most important variable is not even in the equation? Whether you pursue that dream career or not, whether you stay silent or speak up, no matter what you do, you'll never be able to please 100% of the people you encounter. In fact, the only way to do that is to change your qualities, to change your values, to change who you are based on who you're talking to. But even then, you won't be able to please everyone. So might as well be the most authentic version of yourself now. Let me give you an example. This is Joe. He thrives off of positive feedback. He says, it's just fuel for me, it's just motivation. One day, he finds a new passion and thinks, I got a lot of support up to this point. What could possibly be going wrong? In Joe's validation-seeking world, everything can go wrong. Suddenly, people don't support him as much. People are saying things like, you've changed, or you're experimenting, why are you doing all these things? And now he's panicked. He craves that validation, so he goes back to his old ways and ditches all of the things he's always wanted to do just to go back to that spot. He's living in a prison that's been constructed by other people that he chose to lock himself inside of. The solution? If you don't want other people's criticism to affect you, the secret is, drumroll please, you must not let their compliments affect you either. Take compliments and criticism in the same way. And this does not mean being rude or nonchalant. If you feel so good when people tell you, you're so smart, you're hardworking, I love your style, you probably won't feel good if they change their minds about you. So when someone compliments you or criticizes you, take it with a grain of salt. Accept it, but don't overvalue it. Because then you give other people the power to not only shift your mood, but your self-perception. And that is dangerous. Acceptance should come from within. Something to realize is everyone is concerned about themselves more than anything. We are egotistical creatures. I'm over here concerned about my speech and how I'm going to present myself. The person who spoke before me is probably thinking about how their speech went and is watching the live stream back. The person who's going after me is now stressing over it. Everyone's concerned about their own lives. And people are not focusing on you and your mistakes as much as you think they are. Take this as a sign. if you knew that every single person in this world would support you wholeheartedly with whatever you do? Would you try more things? Would you take more risks? Would you present yourself differently? Would you experiment more? Why wait for that? Just do it anyway. Don't make the mistake of sleepwalking through life, because by the time you realize that it's okay to try new things, to experiment, to fail, to land, to live, it might be too late. Be a rebel. Challenge expectations. Go outside of your comfort zone to truly flourish. So the next time someone asks you, how many years have you lived? You can confidently tell them, all of them. Thank you.